are at video number 0038. What you have is his gift to you. And what you do with what you have is your gift to him. This profound statement captures the essence of the Bhagavad Gita's teaching. It reminds us that everything we possess, our body, our mind, our talents, our relationships, even the circumstances of our life, are not accidents or mere personal achievements. They are divine gifts, sacred endowments from the Supreme. And in return, how we use these gifts with love, sincerity, and purpose becomes our offering back to the divine. This is the way of Karma Yoga, selfless action, Bhakti Yoga, devotion, and Vairagya, detachment. Number one, divine endowment, Ishwar Prasad. Everything you have is given by the divine. Your intellect, your creativity, your strength, your compassion, all are Ishwar Prasad, gifts of God's grace. In the Bhagavad Gītā, chapter 10, verse 8, Lord Krishna declares, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. When we truly understand this, pride disappears and humility blossoms. Gratitude takes root in the heart. We stop comparing, complaining, or resenting our situation because we see that whatever we have, little or much, is perfectly suited for our spiritual growth. Just as the rain nourishes every seed according to its nature, the divine gives each of us exactly what we need to unfold our highest potential. Recognizing this truth fills our life with peace and acceptance. Number two, Karma Yoga, the path of selfless action. The Gita teaches you have the right to perform your duties, but you are not entitled to the fruit of your actions. That is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse number 47. This means perform your work with sincerity, but do not be attached to the result. Do your best, but let go of the need for reward or recognition. When you work selflessly, not for personal gain, but as an offering to God, your actions become sacred. Even simple tasks, when done with devotion and awareness, become acts of worship. Karma Yoga transforms daily life into a temple. Cooking becomes an offering. Teaching becomes a service. Helping others becomes a prayer. Every action becomes meaningful because it is performed in the spirit of surrender to the divine will. Number three, Bhakti Yoga, the path of loving devotion. Krishna says in the Gita, chapter 9, verse number 27, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that as an offering to me. Bhakti means to remember God with love in everything you do. It is not limited to rituals or temples. It is an inner attitude to dedicate every thought, word, and action to the divine. When you work, work as if you are serving God. When you speak as if God is listening. When you help others, see the divine in them. This attitude purifies the heart. Gradually, selfish desires fade, and your life becomes guided by love, faith, and devotion. You no longer feel separated from God. You become an instrument of His will. Number four, Vairagya, the spirit of detachment. Now, detachment does not mean you must give up life or your responsibilities. It means you act fully and wholeheartedly, but without being enslaved by the results. You do your duty because it is right, not because you want applause or reward. This is true freedom. Attachment creates anxiety, fear, and disappointment. Detachment brings peace, balance, and spiritual strength. When you see all that you have as belonging to God and all that you do as service to God, you rise above ego and selfishness. You begin to live with equanimity, steady in success or failure, gain or loss, praise or blame. Let us see the living example Arjun's duty. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjun, the great warrior, faced a crisis. He did not want to fight against his own teachers and relatives. He was confused and overwhelmed with sorrow. Lord Krishna lovingly guided him, saying that his warrior skill was not his own, but a divine gift, a part of his dharma, his sacred duty. To abandon it out of fear or attachment would mean denying God's purpose for him. Krishna taught Arjun that when one acts selflessly and with surrender, even the battlefield becomes a place of spiritual growth. Arjun's transformation from confusion to clarity, from fear to faith, shows us how to use our gifts in alignment with the divine will. Let us see the everyday example, the selfless teacher. A good teacher possesses the gift of explaining, guiding, and inspiring others. According to the Gita's wisdom, that teaching ability is a divine endowment. When the teacher teaches with love, patience, and sincerity, not for fame or profit, but to uplift the students, that act becomes sacred. Each lesson becomes an offering to God. Through such service, the teacher grows spiritually while helping others grow. In this way, one's profession becomes a spiritual practice, a living form of worship. So remember this always. Your life is not an accident. Your talents, your opportunities, your challenges, all are instruments of your spiritual evolution. To recognize what you have as God's gift is the beginning of wisdom. To use what you have for the good of others without ego or selfish motive is the fulfillment of that wisdom. When you live in this awareness, you no longer feel ordinary. You become a conscious channel of divine energy, calm, purposeful, and joyous. Your actions then carry a fragrance of purity. Your life becomes an offering, and your heart becomes a temple of peace. Let this truth sink deeply into your heart. What you have is His gift to you. What you have is His gift to you. What you do with what you have is your gift to Him, to God. This single idea contains the entire message of the Bhagavad Gita. It teaches us to live with humility, gratitude, devotion, and detachment. It transforms every ordinary activity into a sacred act of worship. When you see your talents as divine gifts and use them selflessly, your life becomes a blessing to the world and a true offering to the divine. So, act sincerely, love deeply, serve selflessly, and remember always you are an instrument of the divine will. Let your life itself become your prayer. Now we come to the explanation in the form of student and teacher. Guru explains, always remember this profound truth. What you have is his gift to you. What you do with what you have is your gift to him. Everything you possess, your body, your mind, your talents, your relationships, your opportunities, and even your challenges is a sacred gift from the divine. But how you use these gifts creates the offering you return to him. Let us explore this principle from the depths of the Bhagavad Gita in a way your heart can absorb completely. The student is asking a question. You say everything we have is God's gift. How can we understand this? The Guru replies, look at your life carefully. Your intelligence, your creativity, your health, your emotions, your compassion, none of these were created by you. They were given to you. The Bhagavad Gita declares in chapter 10, verse number 8, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. This means your strengths are divine blessings. Your opportunities are divine arrangements. Your life's difficulties are divine lessons for your growth. When you realize this, something beautiful happens. Pride melts, humility blossoms, gratitude becomes your nature. You stop comparing yourself with others. You stop complaining about your situation. You trust that whatever has been given to you, whether small or great, is exactly what your soul needs to evolve. The rain does not discriminate, it nourishes each seed according to its nature. In the same way, the divine nourishes every life according to its unique path. The student is asking another question. If our abilities come from God, how should we use them? The Guru replies. The Gita answers this clearly in chapter 2, verse number 47. You have the right to perform your duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. This means do your work with sincerity. Do not cling to success or fear failure. Offer your actions to the divine without selfish motives. When you do this, you enter the path of Karma Yoga, the yoga of selfless action. Whether you cook, teach, clean, build, help, or create, if you do it with devotion and without ego, every action becomes sacred. Selfless action transforms daily life into a temple. Selfless action transforms daily life into a temple. Cooking becomes an offering. Speaking becomes a prayer. Helping others becomes worship. Work becomes meditation. What matters is not what you do, but how you do it. A student is asking another question. How can we bring devotion into our everyday actions? The Guru replies, by remembering the divine in everything you do. Krishna says in the Gita, chapter 9, verse number 27, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you give, whatever austerity you perform, do it as an offering to me. Bhakti Yoga is not about rituals alone. It is about attitude. When you speak with love. When you work with sincerity. When you serve, see God in the person you serve. When you face challenges, face them with faith in God. Gradually, the ego weakens and love becomes your driving force. You no longer live for God, you live with God. This is Bhakti Yoga. A student is asking another question. But how do we stay peaceful when things do not go the way we want? The Guru replies, that is where Vairagya, healthy detachment, comes in. Detachment does not mean giving up responsibilities. It means giving up unnecessary anxiety and expectation. To be detached means work fully, but don't fear the outcome. Do your duty, but don't be enslaved by results. Keep your mind balanced in success and failure. Attachment brings fear, desire, stress, and disappointment. Detachment brings calmness, clarity, and inner strength. When you see everything as belonging to God, your success becomes His blessing. Your failure becomes His protection. Your life becomes His plan. This is true freedom. A student is asking another question. Can you show me how these teachings work through an example? The Guru replies. The greatest example is Arjun on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjun was paralyzed with sorrow. He did not want to fight his own relatives, but Krishna reminded him his skills as a warrior were God given. His duty as a protector was God chosen. His hesitation came from fear and attachment. His true path was to rise above ego and act for a higher purpose. When Arjun understood this, his confusion disappeared. He acted not for personal gain, not out of anger, but as a humble instrument of the divine will. His battlefield became his spiritual path, and your life can become the same. A student is asking another question. This is clear in Arjun's case, but what about ordinary people? The Guru replies, let us look at a teacher. A good teacher has the gift of explaining, guiding, and uplifting others. These abilities are not personal accomplishments, they are gifts from God. But the teacher has a choice: teach with ego for fame and praise, or teach with love and sincerity as service to God. When the teacher sees teaching as service, every lesson becomes an offering. Every student becomes sacred. Every word becomes worship. This is the true spiritual use of one's gifts. The Guru continues. Understand this deeply. Your life is not random. Your talents are not accidents. Your challenges are not punishments. Everything is perfectly arranged by the divine for your spiritual growth. The beginning of wisdom is recognizing that what you have is a gift from God. The completion of wisdom is using it selflessly for the good of others. When you live in this way, your actions gain purity. Your mind gains peace. Your heart gains devotion. Your life gains purpose. You become a conscious instrument of God's love and compassion. The Guru continues. Let this truth shine in your heart forever. Let this truth shine in your heart forever. What you have is His gift to you. What you do with what you have is your gift to Him, God. This simple sentence contains the essence of the entire Bhagavad Gītā. Live with humility because everything is His gift. Gratitude because you have more than you realize. Devotion because your actions are offerings. Detachment because the results are not yours to control. Service because your gifts are meant to uplift the world. Let your life itself become your prayer. Let your actions themselves become your worship. Let your heart become the temple where the divine resides. The student confirms, I understand my life, my opportunities, and my challenges all are sacred. I will use them well. I will offer them back to the divine. The Guru replies, then you have understood the Gita. Hari Om.